just wanted to do a recap of what happened at the Capitol today, since the media probably won't cover it, or if they do, they'll probably just cover the opposing side's arguments. But I wanted to note a couple of really interesting things that came out of this hearing. One is that Dr. Nikki Mihalopoulos from the University of Utah Gender Clinic admitted that, or at least claimed that the only reason that gender dysphoria was in the DSM was so that insurance companies would pay for these interventions, which means, if you follow the logic, it's not actually a medical condition, which means it shouldn't be covered by insurance companies because only medical conditions are actually covered by insurance companies. So that was interesting. I talked to Dr. Mihalopoulos after the hearing, and I asked her why detrans procedures weren't covered by insurance, and she said because they were cosmetic. And I said, what if the distress and dysphoria surrounding those detransitioners issues are the same as someone who prior to transitioning in the first place? And she said it doesn't matter, they're cosmetic. And I said, well, how could we go about getting them covered by insurance companies? Because I think it's incredibly unfair that the insurance companies will pay to damage these children's bodies, but then won't pay for them to recover afterwards. And she said, well, the way that they did it for the trans interventions was a grassroots effort where she had encouraged parents, doctors, and other interested parties to lobby the insurance companies, basically to call, send letters, and just to protest them and to, kind of make a fuss. And she suggested that that would be the way to get detransitioner interventions covered by insurance companies, which again suggests that insurance companies are not covering them because they're medically necessary, but because of political pressure. And so there were a number of, mistruths and such that were stated, such as puberty blockers being 100% reversible, which is absurd, and we know that that's absurd. Finally, she admitted that she hadn't read the Brandstrom and Pachinka study from Sweden, which showed that medical interventions don't have positive outcomes. She admitted she didn't read them. She told me later she didn't have time to read them because the number of clients she has as her gender clinic has increased by 50% in the last 8 months. Now, in any other area of medicine, if there was that much of an increase, there would be investigations, there would be concern, there would be, potentially presidential commissions to investigate what was happening. But no, in this case, they just go ahead and they damage these children with experimental medical interventions without thought. And it really just confirmed in me that this is all about money. This has nothing to do with the health and well-being of these children. It's that there's some unscrupulous people who have discovered that this is an amazing growth market and they are raking in the big bucks. So that's my recap from the legislative hearings. I am grateful that I had a chance to testify and to respond to questions. I hope some of the media outlets will cover it, but based on my previous experiences, I'm not hopeful. So thank you for your support. Tomorrow I leave Salt Lake City and head to Laramie, Wyoming.